Respect doesn't begin with what you say or how loudly you say it. It begins with who you are when no one is watching. Real respect is not demanded, forced, or manipulated. It is earned through character, consistency, and the way you live your life every single day. If you are searching for shortcuts, there are none. But if you are willing to grow, to mature, and to lead your life with integrity, respect will follow you naturally. Respect doesn't begin with what you say, how you dress, or how much you try to impress. It begins deep inside you. In the quiet moments when no one is watching and no one is applauding. It starts with the way you see yourself, the standards you set for your own life, and the discipline you practice daily. When a man lives with inner order, clarity, and self-control, it creates a silent strength that others can feel. People may not always explain why they respect someone, but they sense it through behavior, consistency, and presence. This kind of respect grows naturally because it is rooted in authenticity, not performance. When you know who you are, you stop chasing validation from the outside world. You no longer depend on praise, attention, or approval to feel secure about yourself. This inner confidence is calm, steady, and grounded, not loud or aggressive. It allows you to stand firm in your values, even when others disagree or walk away. Women notice this kind of confidence because it feels safe and stable. It shows emotional maturity and a sense of identity that is not shaken by opinions or temporary setbacks. Self-respect is built through daily choices, not grand speeches or dramatic actions. It grows when you keep your promises to yourself, when you follow through on your commitment, and when you refuse to compromise your values for short-term pleasure. Every time you choose discipline over laziness and honesty over convenience, you strengthen your inner foundation. This foundation shapes how you speak, how you act, and how you respond to challenges. Over time, these small decisions create a powerful presence that commands respect without demanding it. A man who respects himself does not tolerate chaos in his life. He sets boundaries for how others treat him and how he spends his time and energy. He understands that saying no is sometimes necessary to protect his growth and peace. This clarity sends a strong signal that his life has direction and purpose. Women respect men who are not easily swayed, manipulated, or distracted. Stability and self-control communicate strength far more than words ever could. Respect also flows from emotional discipline, the ability to manage feelings instead of being controlled by them. Life brings stress, disappointment, and pressure, but emotional strength shows in how you handle these moments. Staying calm, thoughtful, and composed during difficulty reflects deep inner work. Emotional reactions may feel powerful, but emotional control is far more impressive. It shows wisdom, patience, and maturity, qualities that naturally earn respect. Consistency is another pillar of respect that grows from within. Being kind one day and careless the next creates confusion, but steady behavior builds trust. When your actions match your words over time, people learn that you are reliable. Respect grows when others know what to expect from you because your character does not change with circumstances. This consistency makes you dependable and solid, which is deeply valued in relationships and life. Living with integrity means choosing what is right, even when it is uncomfortable or unseen. Integrity shapes the way you treat people, the way you speak about others, and the way you handle responsibility. It is not about perfection, but about alignment between values and actions. Women respect men whose lives are not divided, whose public behavior matches their private character. Integrity creates credibility, and credibility is the soil where respect grows. Purpose gives structure to self-respect and direction to daily effort. When you are clear about your goals and values, your life reflects intention instead of confusion. You invest your time wisely and work toward meaningful growth. A man who is building something in his life carries a sense of focus that is naturally attractive. Purpose-driven living communicates ambition, discipline, and inner strength without needing explanation. Humility strengthens self-respect because it keeps growth alive. Being willing to learn, to listen, and to improve shows wisdom rather than weakness. Humility allows you to accept correction without losing confidence. It helps you grow instead of becoming defensive or prideful. Women respect men who are secure enough to admit mistakes and strong enough to change when needed. True respect begins inside and quietly shapes every interaction, decision, and response in your life. When self-respect becomes your foundation, it influences your confidence, your discipline, your emotional strength, and your integrity. This inner work is not quick or easy, but it transforms how others see and experience you. Over time, the respect you cultivate within yourself reflects outward through your presence, actions, and consistency. When you truly know who you are, you stop looking outside yourself for permission to feel valuable. You no longer chase attention, compliments, or approval to feel complete. Your confidence becomes quiet but firm, rooted in self-awareness rather than insecurity. This inner certainty changes how you walk, talk, and make decisions. People can sense when someone is comfortable in their own skin, and that comfort creates a natural authority that draws respect. A man who understands his identity does not compare his journey with others. He knows his strengths and accepts his weaknesses without shame. Instead of pretending to be perfect, he focuses on becoming better day by day. This honesty with himself creates emotional stability. Women respect this stability because it shows depth, realism, and the ability to grow without ego. When confidence comes from within, rejection no longer destroys you. Disagreement no longer feels like an attack on your worth. You can listen, reflect, and respond calmly instead of reacting emotionally. This ability to remain steady under pressure shows maturity. It communicates that your value is not fragile or dependent on external reactions. Internal confidence also affects how you communicate. You speak clearly without needing to dominate conversation. You listen without feeling threatened. You express opinions without forcing them on others. This balance between assertiveness and respect makes interactions feel safe and genuine. Women naturally respect men who communicate with clarity and calm assurance. When you stop seeking validation, your actions become more intentional. You make choices because they align with your values, not because you want to impress someone. This authenticity builds trust over time. People can sense when behavior is genuine rather than performative. Trust grows where authenticity lies, and respect follows closely behind it. Inner confidence helps you stand alone when necessary. You are not afraid of being misunderstood or walking a different path. You understand that growth sometimes requires separation from what is familiar. This courage to stand firm reflects strength of character. Women respect men who are not easily influenced or pressured into abandoning their principles. A strong sense of self also allows you to appreciate others without losing yourself. You can admire someone's intelligence, beauty, or success without feeling smaller. Instead of competition, you operate from security. This emotional security creates healthier connections. Respect thrives where there is no jealousy, fear, or need for control. Knowing who you are helps you handle criticism wisely. You can accept useful feedback without becoming defensive or bitter. At the same time, you can ignore negativity that has no constructive value. This discernment shows wisdom and self-mastery. Women respect men who can grow from feedback without being broken by it. Confidence from within shapes how you handle silence and praise. You do not rush to fill every moment with words or prove yourself constantly. Your presence feels grounded and calm. Silence becomes strength rather than discomfort. This kind of presence often speaks louder than words and leaves a lasting impression. When your confidence is anchored inside, it influences every part of your life, from relationships to decisions to personal growth. You move with clarity instead of confusion, and with purpose instead of fear. This inner alignment creates consistency in behavior and mindset. Over time, this consistency becomes visible to others through your actions, energy, and self-control. Self-respect is not built in one dramatic moment. It is formed through small, repeated decisions that shape your character over time. Every choice you make either strengthens or weakens the way you see yourself. When you commit to doing what you said you would do, even when it feels inconvenient, you reinforce trust within yourself. This inner trust becomes the backbone of confidence. Without it, words feel empty and actions lose meaning. Daily discipline plays a major role in developing self-respect. Waking up on time, managing your responsibilities, and staying consistent with your goals trains your mind to value structure. Discipline teaches you that feelings do not control your life. Over time, this creates a sense of inner order that reflects outward. People sense when someone's life is guided by intention rather than impulse keeping. Promises to yourself is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen inner confidence. When you say you will improve, grow, or change, and then follow through, you send yourself a message of reliability. This reliability builds emotional strength. Each fulfilled promise becomes evidence that you can trust yourself. Women respect men who live in alignment with their commitments, choosing honesty, especially when lying might seem easier, builds a strong moral foundation. Honesty may cost comfort in the short term, but it builds credibility in the long term. A life shaped by truth carries weight and clarity. People feel safer around someone whose words match reality. Respect grows naturally where honesty is practiced consistently. Self-respect also means resisting shortcuts that compromise your values. Temporary pleasure often promises satisfaction but leaves regret behind. Choosing restraint over impulse strengthens your character. It teaches patience and long-term thinking. This ability to delay gratification is a sign of maturity that commands respect. Personal growth requires consistency, not perfection. Progress happens when you show up even on days when motivation is low. The willingness to continue despite setbacks reflects resilience. Resilience shapes identity and builds inner strength. Women respect men who persist through challenges without giving up on themselves. Setting standards for your life defines how others interact with you. When you accept poor treatment or disrespect, you teach people how to treat you. Clear standards create clarity in relationships. They show that your time, energy, and values matter. Respect follows those who respect their own boundaries. Self-respect grows when you take responsibility for your actions. Blaming others may protect the ego, but it weakens character. Owning mistakes builds maturity and wisdom. Responsibility shifts power back into your hands. Women respect men who lead their lives with accountability. Patience is another expression of self-respect. Growth takes time, and rushing often leads to frustration. Learning to wait, to work steadily, and to trust the process builds emotional control. Patience reflects confidence in the future. It shows that you are not desperate or insecure. Over time, these daily choices shape how you carry yourself, how you speak, and how you respond to life. Self-respect becomes visible through calmness, consistency, and inner strength. Your presence communicates stability and intention. This quiet confidence influences how others perceive and interact with you, creating an atmosphere where respect naturally exists. A man who respects himself does not allow disorder to rule his life because chaos slowly erodes confidence and clarity. He understands that habits shape destiny and unaddressed chaos eventually becomes a burden. By organizing his time, his priorities, and his environment, he creates mental space for growth. Order brings peace, and peace strengthens decision-making. Women notice when a man's life feels stable rather than scattered. Setting boundaries is a key expression of self-respect, not an act of arrogance or selfishness. Boundaries protect your energy, values, and emotional health. When you clearly communicate what is acceptable and what is not, you establish a standard for interaction. This clarity prevents resentment and confusion. Respect grows where boundaries are firm but fair. A man with strong boundaries does not feel guilty for saying no when something does not align with his values. He understands that every yes costs time and energy. Choosing wisely reflects maturity and foresight. This discipline shows that his life is guided by intention rather than pressure. Warm and respect men who can make decisions without fear of disappointing everyone. Time management reflects how much you value yourself and your future. When you waste time repeatedly, you signal that your life lacks direction. Prioritizing important tasks over distractions builds momentum. This momentum creates progress and confidence. Respect often follows those who treat their time as valuable, emotional. Boundaries are just as important as physical and mental ones. Allowing constant negativity or disrespect into your life drains inner strength. Protecting your emotional space helps maintain balance and clarity. This does not mean avoiding conflict, but managing it wisely. Women respect men who can remain emotionally steady under pressure. A structured life does not mean a rigid or joyless one. It means having clear priorities that guide daily choices. Structure creates freedom because it removes unnecessary confusion. When your life has order, your mind becomes calmer. Calmness communicates confidence and reliability. When you tolerate chaos, you also tolerate inconsistency in behavior and relationships. Inconsistency weakens trust and creates uncertainty. A man who values order creates predictability through his actions. Predictability builds safety and trust. Women feel more respect toward men whose actions align with their words. Boundaries also define how you allow others to speak to you and treat you. Accepting disrespect teaches people that it is allowed. Correcting it calm. A lie shows self-worth. This does not require aggression, only firmness. Respect grows when dignity is protected consistently. Living with order requires daily effort and awareness. It means regularly evaluating habits, commitments, and influences. Removing what no longer serves your growth creates room for improvement. This process strengthens discipline and focus. Women respect men who are intentional about their lives. As order becomes a lifestyle, it shapes confidence, stability, and presence. Your actions reflect control rather than confusion. People sense when someone is grounded and self-directed. This grounded presence influences how others interact with you, reinforcing respect through clarity, consistency, strength. Emotional discipline is one of the clearest signs of inner strength, even though it is often misunderstood. It does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending not to feel pain, anger, or disappointment. It means recognizing emotions without letting them control decisions or behavior. This level of awareness takes practice and humility. Over time, emotional discipline creates a sense of balance that others can feel. Life constantly presents situations that test patience and self-control. Stressful moments reveal whether emotions are leading or whether wisdom is in charge. A man who pauses before reacting shows maturity and depth. Instead of explosive responses, he chooses thoughtful action. Women respect this ability to stay composed when pressure is high. Emotional discipline allows you to communicate clearly even in difficult conversation. Rather than raising your voice or shutting down, you stay present and focused. You express your thoughts without attacking or blaming. This calm communication builds understanding and trust. Respect grows when conversations feel safe and balanced. Managing emotions also means accepting responsibility for them. Blaming others for how you feel keeps you powerless. Taking ownership restores control. When you understand that feelings are signals rather than commands, you gain freedom. Women respect men who take responsibility for their emotional state. Patience is a direct result of emotional discipline. It helps you tolerate delays, setbacks, and uncertainty without losing direction. Instead of rushing or forcing outcomes, you allow time to do its work. This patience reflects confidence in the process of life. It shows that you are not driven by desperation or fear. Emotional discipline strengthens decision-making. When emotions are intense, clarity is often reduced. Learning to step back creates space for wise choices. Over time, this habit builds a reputation for sound judgment. Women respect men whose decisions are thoughtful rather than impulsive. Controlling emotional reactions also protects relationships Hurtful words spoken in anger can damage trust permanently. Restraint prevents unnecessary conflict. Choosing silence or calm discussion over emotional outbursts shows respect for all. Thirst. Respect is often returned to those who practice it consistently. Emotional strength becomes visible through consistency of behavior. When mood swings do not dictate actions, people feel secure. Security builds trust and admiration. Women respect men who provide emotional stability rather than emotional turbulence. Stability creates a sense of safety that is deeply valued. Developing. Emotional discipline requires self-reflection and patience. It involves learning personal triggers and patterns. Awareness allows you to interrupt negative reactions before they escalate. This growth process builds confidence from within. Respect often follows those who are committed to self-mastery. As emotional discipline deepens, it influences every interaction and relationship. Your presence becomes calmer and more reassuring. You respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. This steady emotional energy shapes how others experience you, allowing respect to grow naturally through strength, control, and wisdom. Consistency is one of the strongest signals of character because it proves that your behavior is not temporary or dependent on mood. Anyone can act well for a moment, but living with steady values over time requires discipline. When actions align with words again and again, credibility is formed. People begin to trust what you say because experience has taught them that you mean it. Women naturally respect men whose character does not shift with convenience or pressure by. Non-consistent means showing up the same way in private as you do in public. There is no hidden version of you that contradicts the image you present. This alignment creates authenticity and removes confusion. When your values guide your behavior everywhere, people feel secure around you. Respect grows where there is no fear of unpredictability. Reliability is a direct result of consistency. When you say you will do something and then follow through, trust deepens. Over time, people stop questioning your intentions. Your presence becomes dependable rather than uncertain. Women respect men who can be counted on without reminders or excuses. Consistency also shows emotional maturity. Mood swings and unpredictable reactions make relationships unstable. When your responses remain measured and thoughtful, even during stress, people feel at ease. Emotional steadiness reflects self-control. Respect develops where emotional chaos is absent. Living consistently requires patience because results are not immediate. Character is revealed slowly through repeated behavior. Staying committed to values during difficult seasons tests inner strength. Those who remain steady during challenges demonstrate resilience. Women respect men who do not abandon principles when circumstances become uncomfortable. Consistency builds confidence, not only in others but within yourself. Each time you honor your values, you reinforce self-trust. This inner assurance shapes how you speak, move, and decide. Confidence rooted in consistency feels calm and grounded. It attracts respect without needing validation. In relationships, consistency creates safety. Knowing what to expect allows trust to grow naturally. When kindness, honesty, and respect are stable qualities rather than occasional acts, connection deepens. Women value emotional reliability because it reduces fear and uncertainty. Respect thrives in environments of stability. Consistency also reflects discipline in daily habits. Small routines repeated over time shape identity. Discipline strengthens willpower and clarity. A man who manages his habits shows control over his life. Respect often follows those who demonstrate mastery over themselves. Being consistent does not mean being rigid or inflexible. It means staying true to core values while adapting wisely to situations. This balance shows wisdom rather than stubbornness. Adaptability, guided by principle, reflects maturity. Women respect men who can adjust without losing themselves. Over time, Consistent behavior shapes reputation and presence. People begin to associate your name with reliability and strength. Your words carry weight because they are supported by action. This steady alignment between belief and behavior quietly reinforces respect. Through trust, stability, and unwavering character, thanks to all